So, babe, I was on Instagram, and Instagram had this thing where Kevin Hart's telling his stories.
Right.
So it's like from the heart or something like that. But I don't think anybody's stories are as good as your stories, right? So just now we were talking about, Nudist, and one thing y'all may not know about Justin's story is that Justin grew up in a nudist. Well, not grew up, but he lived in a nudist colony.
Yeah, for 1 year.
For 1 year.
1 year.
So let me ask you, what is it like? I'll just start that high up question. What is it like living in a nudist colony?
Well, like, here's the first thing, right?
Okay.
So when we came to Austin back in the early 80s, my mom couldn't afford any place.
Yeah.
So the only place that would rent to her was really, strangely enough, a fucking nudist colony.
Okay.
You would think a nudist colony would say, you know something? We're going to do background checks. We're going to do all types of other things to make sure
everybody's naked, right? So
everybody's naked. So it's like, it could be, this is like a breeding ground for pedos and weirdos and all these motherfuckers. So I was thinking that, they'd be more stringent, whatever, but they weren't.
Yeah.
So when we first came here, my mom had no money. And I remember she was like, hey, son, I got this apartment. Yeah. Right? And she's like, but the people that are on the inside, they're always with their clothes off. And I was like, damn, Mom.
How old were you?
Man, I was like about 7, 8, I think.
Damn it.
This is when we first came, and then we were trying to look for a place.
Okay.
So, I was like about 6 or 7 probably.
Okay. 6
or 7. But I remember I was in first grade or whatever. And I remember, we never took the front door. We never went out the front door.
So all the apartments were inside like one building?
Yeah, so it was basically like an apartment complex. You had the inside hollowed out like the Carter, and you had like the courtyard and all that shit. Yeah. That's where they played volleyball, swam, hung out all day, completely nude. So what we would do is we would go in and out of the window. Yeah. So we had a window that was like, as soon as you open up the window and you open it up, you could just step out of it, and then you just go into the parking lot. Yeah, there was other children there.
And they were naked also?
Some of those other children were nude.
Oh my God.
Some of those children fucking nude.
I've never seen another kid nude before.
I know, right? So imagine being a little kid, and I'm keeping my pants on.
Yeah.
And then just...
Were people encouraging y'all to take y'all clothes off?
People, there was people there, they were like, well, how come your son won't take his, he wears shorts all the time? And she's like, oh, that's just what he's comfortable with and all that. They're like, well, matter of fact, why the fuck are you wearing your clothes all the time? And she was like, well, we didn't have no other place to stay, so this is the only place we could kind of stay at for a little bit. And it was just some really weird shit because people were just so open with it.
What's the craziest thing that ever happened outside of people trying to encourage you as a child to take your clothes off?
I saw a nude confrontation.
A fight?
Weird. Yeah, it was like
between
a nude fight.
dudes?
Yeah, it was some, it was a couple. It was a couple getting into it with another couple out there.
Oh my God.
Because this one guy, I'd never forget, it was this older guy, he looked like Pee Wee Herman. He would always paint outside nude. Yeah. And he would always draw some of the weirdest shit. And it was real perverted and shit,
But being nude and living nude wasn't perverted, but
living nude wasn't perverted.
Him enjoying nudity was perverted.
Yeah, so he would draw these real pornographic paintings.
Of what, sex?
Yeah, sexual stuff and all types of weird shit. And then after a while, some of the parents there, some of the people that had younger kids there were like, dude, that's kind of like weird and you're doing this in front of everybody. Because, see, they don't look at nudity as necessarily
pornographic.
Yeah, like having sex in front of someone is probably pornographic or whatever. But they just walk around and just hang out nude all day. It's just not even a big deal. Just like how we're talking right now, we just don't have no clothes on.
But if you become aroused by that.
Yeah.
Then that's when it becomes pornographic.
That's when
arousal comes.
Yeah, because something about the dudes, a male's erection is aggressive.
It is aggressive.
So, yeah, it's real aggressive and
but it's also natural.
On your face, you know what I'm saying? But so anyway, that's
so
how
you saw
it was.
them fight.
Yeah, so I saw these couples get into a fight. It wasn't nothing like heavy. You weren't out there boxing and shit and moving, balls hanging out. It was more like, in their face and, you did this. And, it was probably some swinger shit or something. They kind of got into it with another couple. And that was it. And I remember after, I say about 10, 11 months there, my mom was like, okay, that's it. Yeah. We're just going to go ahead and just go.
So mom never did the nudist thing with them.
She never did.
And that was probably a problem because
it was a problem.
So attractive.
Yeah. No, it was a problem because they were like, well, she had a boyfriend at the time.
Oh.
Yeah, she had a boyfriend at the time and his name was George. I hated that motherfucker with a passion. But his name was George. And, but...
Did George do the nudist thing?
No, he didn't do the nudist thing either. He was upset because he was like, this is the only place you can find for us to live. And I'm like, motherfucker, think about what you just stated. This is the only place she found for us to live. You a grown ass motherfucking man.
Yeah.
And George was the reason why I got stuck down here in Texas because he lied on mom and said he had a job down here. Only to get down here and there's like some friend is telling them some shit.
Okay, we'll tell the story about George some other time.
Yeah.
But those are your adventures of living in a nudist colony.
Yeah, I was adventures of living in a nudist colony. So yeah, like I said, always out the back window, never the front door. Because if you walked out the front door into the courtyard, it was maximum level nudity. And these people did not believe in working out. None of them was in shape except for the younger people who are just naturally in shape because they're young. But everybody there older was just like man, yeah, they hated sit-ups and push-ups. They're like totally against that. It was like, yeah, that was outlawed.
All right.
So, yeah.
So Justin's adventures at the nudist colony.
There you go.